Hello, I'm Tali Allen. Welcome to the Wiz Conversations, a Muny reflection on the show history and moving forward. As the Muny's Director of Education, I know firsthand that learning in progress cannot happen without honest reflection. The strength of these conversations is that they were recorded in the middle of the 2020 summer, and thus the raw truth and power of that moment in history are ever present. Rather than performing in the Muny's 2020 variety shows, 4 cast members from the Muny's 2018 production of The Wiz sought a more meaningful and appropriate way for their participation to support the momentum of social justice. In these conversations, they unpack the cultural power of The Wiz and its characters and explore their own individual journeys as people of color in the musical theater industry. I'm so grateful to Danyel, Jared, James, Darius, and Amber for collecting their voices and sharing their truths. We hope this piece will continue to serve as an educational tool and reference point, capturing the thoughts and emotions of all of us at that moment.
I was born on a hill not so far away. Out of 3 rubber bands, old gloves for hands, and a suit that had been thrown away. They took a jacket and pants, found a brown paper bag, then they filled it with straw, and to top all the drag.
Jared?
Oh, we in it. We in it.
Okay,
We
now,
in the building.
you guys, you may not know this, but Jared Grimes, on top of being a fantastic actor, singer, tap dancer, is a dang fool. It's very severe. And being a fool is my full-time job. So when I say it, it's pretty bad. Jared, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm happy. I've reconnected with the word now. So you know what I'm saying. I'm good with you because it's been a while. It's been a while. So we've been vibing through the universe. So
It's been forever.
yeah.
And boy, oh boy, did we have a good time. Jared, what was your favorite memory from The Wiz? The Muny Mount. Okay, wait, no. First of all, how many times have you been a part of a production of The Wiz?
This is my first time. The Muny was my first time. Not even gonna lie.
That's nuts.
I've been chasing one of them. Either I've been chasing the Tin Man or the Scarecrow or something, a crow or something since like the beginning of the beginning of time, and I never found an opportunity to get in the show. So it was kind of like a bucket list show. Literally out of the blue, the Muny had hit me up to be a part of the production, and instantly I was just like, I was like, all right, well, they're probably reaching out, for the Tin Man. You know what I'm saying? They probably trying to get that footwork. You know what I mean? And then they was like, yo, the Scarecrow, and I was like, "Brr." I was like, yo, let's get it. Like, you gonna let me get the MJ track? Like, I'm down. Not only MJ, but like the Hinton track, Hinton Battle in my brain.
Yeah.
So like just having an opportunity to get into the show and to just move and shake with the Muny was the first time, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't even have to do it anymore. Like, I'm like, it was like that was like the bucket list for me. And so I'm forever, grateful for the Muny giving me the opportunity to kind of, flex and spread my wings in such an iconic role. So I'm still beaming from it.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
I have to ask you, what was your favorite part of that, the run at the Muny?
You know, you know what? This is it's gonna be silly. Because usually, like, when the going's going good, like, to me that's normalcy. So I think my favorite part, which you gonna get on me too. I don't know what I was thinking about one night, but I just went up on a line, and I don't know where I was, and I looked up, and the homie James and Danyel was just staring at me, and I was just like. I just literally was like staring back, like what's good, like what's good, and then James just went off and started doing his number, and I literally halfway into the number, I was like, oh, I forgot a line. That's what it was like. So like that's like my favorite moment because it was like one of the most human moments that I had, and I mean like little things were happening throughout the entire run that was letting me know that I was definitely the Scarecrow. So it was like. I was kind of that was like probably one of the biggest moments when I was like, yeah, it took me a whole song to realize, I forgot a line. Like, cause I still didn't know what happened. I was just like, oh, we got a little air in these lines today. I was like, all right.
It's
I was like, we
you.
got a little air in
You're
these
the
lines
air.
today. Oh, that was me. Okay, cool. All right, yep. I was like, I got y'all tomorrow. I got y'all. So,
Ultimately, I'm sure no one could tell that you had a bit of a brain
just a
fart.
little air. Just a little air. You know what I'm saying? Dramatic pause. Boom. A beat. Now I'm playing which. Let me stop.
Jared, I mean, I understand you do a butt ton of shows everywhere 100% of the time. How, as a regular human being who can't be dancing around or be singing beautiful songs, how difficult was this show for you, like physically? Was it very physically demanding?
Um, Actually, for me, no. I'm so like hyperactive, wired. This
You
show
are
just kind of,
wired,
yeah, it
sir.
just kind of
That is
fed.
true.
It kind of fed the machine. So and I grown up like watching the Hinton battles and the MJs and the Sammy Davis Juniors and the Gregory Hines and stuff like that. And they came from vaudeville, which the Wiz definitely has a strong sentiment towards the vaudeville-esque type of formula. And I watched those guys growing up from a little kid and all the movies and stuff like that. And the one thing that I noticed is that they knew that that could be their last gig, or they knew that it's really hard for people that look like them and that had brown skin to get that scene in the movie, which would eventually get cut out, or get that opportunity to close a vaudeville circuit show. So once they got on, it was like everybody was at their mercy. And as soon as you took that moment for granted, it might be lost, or you might not be able to eat, or you might not be able to get into the next show. So, a show like The Wiz, is definitely kind of geared towards the way I was always programmed as a little kid to just give, give, give as much as I possibly could.
That's a great way to put it. I always say they gave me an inch and I'm still taking.
Yeah, yeah,
That is how they could like, and you're also right because you're having a good day could mean this gets into the movie or gets into the show or tours,
hmm
and you're
hmm
having a bad day could mean you don't eat,
yeah,
But when you hungry,
yeah. That's
woo,
different.
that's a performance.
Yeah, that's different. That's big with me these days. Is just recognizing the blessings that you're given, and especially in show business, it's so easy to kind of get wrapped up in an opportunity. And to me, it's one of the most beautiful things about being a performer is utilizing the gifts that you've been given to affect someone's life for the better. And The Wiz is, a huge example of how to give and how to change people's lives from the black perspective, from the black experience. That is just an example of just that, the gift, the blessing, spirituality, entertainment, fun, the struggle, the journey, the oppression, the unjust, and it's exactly what the world keeps cycling through against Black lives continually, and has been for the last 400 years. Like The Wiz literally is the story of the Black people, the Black experience, and any way you kind of look at it, there's always information and there's always uplifting messages of resilience. And like I said, like when you have that going for you, that's where the pride is. So The Wiz, like it's the engine that keeps on ticking, and it was it was well welcomed for the way my engine works. And like I said, I'm still ticking on it. We ticking right now. So
That's very true. I mean, the effect it has, and then how what the whiz is changes once you've had a piece of it. You
mm,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Now that I've been the small part of a production of the whiz, ooh, it feels so personal,
yeah,
and it feels like it belongs to me, and it
yeah,
doesn't. It belongs to the world, but
hmm
that's the exciting part about it. There are a lot of crazy parts, crazy moments in the show that Scarecrow has. When you found out you were Scarecrow, what were you like? ooh, you know what? I'm thrilled to do this or this or this dance break or sing this song or this joke. What were you excited about?
I to be honest, I think every production that I've heard of the Wiz, like usually you don't get the song "You Can't Win" because of the rights. So as soon as I got the part, I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll probably be singing, the Hinton Battle Broadway version I was born for yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I was like, all right, cool. And then I think like maybe a week or just a couple days before, they was like, oh no, you singing too. And I was like, oh, okay. So we doing "You Can't Win." And I was like, boom. I was like, what? I was like, I'm about to body. And I'm like, I hope they bring it down a couple notches. And then then I got there and the homie was like, nah, you gonna sing this joint 2 steps up from where MJ sang it. I said, excuse me. I said, excuse
Oh,
me. Two. I said, two. We ain't gonna sing where MJ sang it. We gonna sing it 2 steps up. So then I was like, yo, that experience quickly turned into joy, and then it quickly turned from joy to training. Because I was I was like, oh, so this isn't gonna be like just a fun brand new day for me. I was like, I'm gonna have to work for this. So you know me, I'm a gamer. Like I'm like, you're not gonna get me. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'm like in the hotel working, and James, Darius, Danyel, like they wake out of bed hitting like high notes. Like, I gotta warm up. Like I warms up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, so every day after rehearsal and before rehearsal, I'm just like disciplined. Like I'm not talking on the phone. I'm like, if they hit me, I'm texting. They like, yo, you want to go out get something to eat after? I'm like, nah, I'm going home to steam for 3 hours. Like everything was geared towards me, like knowing that I did not want to have a flat tire for this song that I enjoy so much. And then it paid off because I ended up having a phenomenal time with the song. So that was like one of my prized loved experiences with the show, is being able to sing, "You Can't Win," which we all know is one of the title songs and most fun popular songs of the movie. So
Slide some oil to me. Let it slip down my side. Standing here in one position sure can make one tired. Slip some to my elbow and to my fingers it would. Come on and slide that oil to me, girl. Ooh, doesn't that feel good?
James, you were the Tin Man,
Yes.
and it was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
And I heard you sing, oh, what's the song? How could I possibly have forgotten it?
What would I do if I could feel?
Friggin'. And I cried every time. I saw you sing it 7 times, and I cried 7 times. I may have cried again after, just thinking about, remembering how great it was. It was great.
Thank
You are an amazing performer.
you.
As an African-American man, what does the Wiz mean to you?
Well, there are a few ways that I could kind of like think about this. As a kid, seeing these icons like Diana Ross or Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell I ran into in Midtown, and I was like, whoa! Like after I got here, I was like, it's the Tin Man, these people. Well, first of all, being a Broadway performer, like aspiring to what that would be, or television star, it seemed so far away. And yet seeing someone who looked like you up on the big screen or in my mama's living room, or even being in New York City and running into Nipsey Russell, it allows you to dream bigger dreams. The very fact that Nipsey Russell was in, the lobby of where Capizio Dance Center was, and he was just that close. It's like my dreams can come true because he's an actual live person doing this thing that we do. So it feeds into all of that, Amber. It feeds into, aspirations and hopes, dreams being realized. It's all of that for me. It's just all of that for me.
If you can see it, you can be it.
That's it. That's
Ain't
it.
that the truth?
Mhm.
James, other than your character, who do you most identify with?
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Who do I most identify with? I guess that would be Dorothy,
Yeah.
only in that her rallying people and as you go along the journey, like I feel like that is a part of my everyday life, rallying folks and bringing them along in the journey. And I teach a lot of dance, and it is my most precious thing to to get a new student or a young student who has a block in some particular type of way of learning, and finding multiple ways to inspire them to kind of execute the choreography. I may come in this way or I may come in that way. I absolutely enjoy it. So I felt that Dorothy was rallying all of her friends and inspiring all of her friends to kind of like keep on going. So it's definitely Dorothy. Yeah.
That's a very Dorothy thing to do. To go around, find where people need encouragement, and give them that there.
Yeah.
It's super Dorothy of you, sir. Um, why do the Wiz today in this time?
Well, because it's relevant. I think African American men, or men and women, African Americans need examples of perseverance and hope, no matter what time it is. It is not dated to talk about your dreams and your hopes. These songs, from 6 to 7 years old, when I made my Broadway debut in a chorus line, I sang "Believe in Yourself" because I couldn't believe, I was in that room auditioning for my first Broadway show, and I'm still carrying these ideals with me that I learned from the Wiz. I want to speak those words, believe in yourself right from the start, you know, in these spaces and places where I need all the courage I can get. So it never it goes on and on and on. These things that we learn in the Wiz, so we always need the Wiz.
You're right. It does feel like the Wiz is a love letter to us. It's so encouraging, and it sets an example,
Mhm.
a clear example. You can follow it. It reaches into your little heart and it encourages you. It Dorothy's you. Um, it's yeah.
Yeah, it also you've got help all along the way, and sometimes the help isn't the answer, it's just help to find the answer you've always had inside of yourself.
Oh my gosh! If you don't just sit down and write your own dang musical so I could go see it and feel inspired, that's Uh, yet, let me, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but the Wiz's structure is closely related to vaudeville. How do you think that affects you?
Well, I mean, as Jared so beautifully put, this structure is like stand and deliver, baby. Like you've got your number, you better deliver, and you better pass it on to the next person. You gotta pass that ball though, and the Wiz does that beautifully, because if the ball drops, you gotta rally again and find it again. But because we're gangbusters, we come out like gangbusters, boom, 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 boom. That the craft of it is to like be great and then push that forward to the next person to be great. And I feel that in African American life, that's what we do, because we gonna step out and we gonna do it, and we gonna lift you up too while you doing it. Like we find that because we had to find it so long ago. We had to hope against hope. We had against all odds, we had to still believe. They were on the plantation, our ancestors, dreaming for us to be the people that we are here being. Like I am the dream of my ancestors, so I better shine that light. You do an injustice when you don't, as Jared mentioned, when you don't share those gifts. they're coming through you. They were prayed into you. You must be that light to pass on that gift. You know, it ain't yours. You're just passing it on through.
You are merely a vessel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Why did you all decide to take this opportunity and move the conversation in this direction?
Well, you know, it's a thanks for asking that, Amber. We are in a time right now in this present moment where
What a gentle way to put it.
a,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have found ourselves in a time.
a time. It's like, boo, what you gonna do with it? You know, what are you gonna do with it? So the world is on, we are all on a collective time out, and it is forcing us to be present. You know, this pandemic is forcing us to be present. You know, what has gone on in Minneapolis pointed out that it has always gone on. You know, so we must, you know, I love to sing and dance. I love to sing and dance, but there's a time to sing and dance, and there's a time to talk. And we must take a pause, and we must, you know, honor the moment that we are in. You know, there's a struggle that we've always been struggling against, and we must do something about it. The systemic racism, you know, it's what's going on in the status quo right now is broke. It was not built for all of us. It was built for a few of us, and it's time for everybody to be a part of the conversation, to be a part of creating how we proceed. So my voice in this moment, our voice in this conversation is about how we are feeling right now and how we must proceed so that it is equitable for all of us.
Say that. Why is it important to have people of color on projects of cultural significance like The Wiz?
Authenticity. You know, you don't get that unless you live that, unless you know that, you know, and if and just speaking back to what, you know, vaudeville, there was so much ad lib and there was so much personality in each and every one of these characters. You get that authenticity by getting people who naturally live in that space. So when you don't have that representation behind the table, it takes longer to get there. I have been in spaces where it's like, you know, somebody is telling me how to be me, you know, and in so many ways, you know, very politely or you know, but it's like, but you can't tell me how to be me. I have to show you what it is, you know, and then we can discuss what we're going to do with me. That's what it is. I'm not at the Guinness company trying to tell you how to make some, you know, beer. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not doing that. You know, I want the authenticity there, you know, spoken from that perspective. And that's why it's important. Authenticity matters with The Wiz, you know, and we need that in all of the productions that require for that. You know, it needs to be behind the table and in front of the table. So that whoever comes to see that gets it right. They receive it right. You know, it's no misinformation. It's not messy. It's clear.
Yeah.
You know, because what we're doing is little slices of life, little cultural slices of life that we show up in, you know, and we want to get it right. That's it.